Hello everyone, myself Suyash, and in this video we will be discussing offline password cracking using tools like Hydra. Before starting this video, please do keep in mind that this is just for educational purpose, and please do not try this technique on any normal website, otherwise it can land us in serious trouble because it is illegal. Only use this technique to crack the passwords of those systems or of those websites which are meant for testing purposes or which are meant for educational purposes like I will be using in this video. Please do not perform this technique on any general website, otherwise it can be of a serious issue and it is completely illegal. So to start with the video, here is a brief introduction to Hydra.
So this is a very widely used tool to get the password of any system or any website. So we have both the UI version as well as the command line interface for this. And we can perform, like, how does this work is how Hydra works is that we specify the source, like what we want to target, whose password you want to crack. It can be a URL, it can be an IP address, we can try the FTP server or anything. We specify that, and then we give the list of the username passwords, and then Hydra will perform the dictionary based attack or brute force attack depending on the list which we give. It will try for all those possible combinations of username and password, and then it will store that. Either it will show the result, or if you want, we can store the result in some file. So this is the basic introduction about Hydra. And for this demo, I will be using two VMs. One is the Kali VM. I was just taking the address, and second one is the Metasploitable VM. So the first step is we want to know, suppose I want to know the password of this Metasploitable VM. And what will I get by knowing the password? Suppose I want to access the files. Suppose let's see the example. When I want to do an FTP connection, I want to access the files on this system, or I want to put some file into this machine. So the question is, how can we do that? I suppose we do not know the password of this machine, Metasploitable machine. So using this, we can do that. So suppose I'll just start from here. So this is my machine, Metasploitable machine. If I see the address of this machine, it is 192.168.29.8. This is the IP address of this machine. And now I want to access the files in this machine. So if I just do ls command, I can see there is a folder called vulnerable. I'll just navigate to this folder. And if I do ls, I can see that there are some files over here. One of these file is srv1.txt. This is a text file which I have created. If you want, we can get another text file. We can just click a command cat and srv2.txt. I'll just create this file and write this is the demo file on ms2 VM. And thank you. And now if I do ls, I can see that there is a file called srv2.txt created on this Metasploitable2 VM. Suppose this is any machine, it can be any machine. For this demo, this is so. Now my purpose is to access this file on my Kali machine without knowing the username and password of the Metasploitable VM. So how do I do that? First, I would try to directly access the FTP service. I'll just see if the FTP service is open on this VM. For that, we can use the command nmap and 192.168.10.p. And if you want, we can just see SSD also. We can give the details of the services open. If the FTP service is open, we will try to access the FTP service on the Metasploitable2 machine. This is what our primary objective is. So yes, the FTP server port number 21 is open. So now we will try to access the FTP service. And the command for accessing the FTP service is FTP and the IP address. Simple command. So we will just get that over here. Now it is asking me for the username, which I don't know. So without username, if I give any random username, it won't accept. I'll just give a random username password, it won't connect. Login failed. So I need to give the correct, I'll just exit from here. So now next question is how to do this. So for that, we can use Hydra tool. And how will we use this tool? We have a very simple syntax for that. We will write Hydra, then -l. Now, if we give small l, then in that case, we have to specify the username. Like suppose there are some cases where we know the username, but we don't know the password. In those cases, we can specify the username. So in those cases, we will use small l and specify the username. In case we are not aware of the username itself, in those cases, we would use capital L and then specify a file in which there will be a list of all the available usernames. So for this demo, what we have done is that We can get this dictionary file from the internet also. There are some files present on the Kali system as well, which if we run, it will take a lot of time. So I have just created a very, like, taken a subset of those files, and I have some values in these files. So for this demo, we would be using these files. These are some random usernames, and this is some random passwords. So I have two files on my desktop which have the list of username and passwords. A sample file would look something like this. I can show you how a sample file looks like. Let's see. Should be there somewhere. It will have thousands and thousands of username and password. So it will take a lot of time. So for this demo, I've just taken a subsection of those text files. So this is how the syntax looks like. If we give capital L, we have to give the list of the usernames. Then we have to give the password. So password is also the same thing. In case we are not aware of the password, we would give capital P and then the list of the file, which has all the list possible combinations of passwords. And if we are aware of the password, which is a very healthy story, then we can directly give small p and the password itself. Then what are we trying to access? The target. This is the target. Like I want to access the FTP server on like FTP port on this particular IP address. So this is the syntax for Hydra. And then there are some other optional parameters also which we can use. There are many parameters which we can see if we give the command Hydra -. So these are the many command options available. So some of the ones which we will be using for demo over here at this, like we will get to see this as we go further. And we also have a UI version of Hydra, which I will be showing after just 5 minutes. So suppose I want to access the username and password of the MSF admin. So this is a very simple command for that. Hydra -L. Say I know the usernames, I would directly give the username. I don't know the passwords, I will give the list of password, and I'll just write FTP : the IP address of the machine and -v for showing the details. And if we just paste this over here. So now it will take some time because what happened is that before this I was practicing something and I had aborted the session unexpectedly. So that is why it would give me 10 seconds to ask me that if you want to restore the previous session. So that's why if you don't want that same like those kinds of messages, we can give -i. If I give -i, it will ignore if there is a previous session which was stopped unexpectedly, and it will directly create a fresh session. So that's why it took some time, but I think it's yeah. So what we can see now is that the login password is fixed. The username is fixed. It is MSF admin specified, but it will try with all the passwords possible, which we had given in the sheet. I can show you the sheet also, the password list. It starts from Pantera and it goes all the way till VAG background. So we can see it starts from there and goes till the end, but it stops the moment it gets the correct password. And why is that? Because we can, I think I specified somewhere to stop, or is it the last password? Let's see the previous command. In case we want the control to stop the moment it gets the correct password, we can use -f. So it will stop the moment it gets the correct password. In case there are many passwords and we want like multiple passwords are possible, then we can skip this -f. Then it will continue. Even if it finds the correct combination, it will still check if there are further combinations possible. So here it is stopping at iteration number 32 itself. Okay. So and number 33 it is getting MSF admin and it is stopping the name. So this is the basic like principle of how Hydra works. And then now we have different options as per different requirements. So I'll show that some of them. So now we got the username and password. Just a second. This is MSF admin and MSF admin. Now, if you want, we can directly try to access the FTP server with this combination. So I'll give the username and password which I found. Now it is saying login successful and FTP console has opened. If I do ls, I can see the directory vulnerable. If I go inside vulnerable and do ls, I can see my file srb2.txt present. I can also view the file. See, this is the sorry. It's a command to download the file. It is get srb2.txt. See, we downloaded the file from the victim machine, and we can also see the file. It must be over here in folder. Yeah, this is the file. So this is a basic demo of the how to get the password. Now what we can do is we will exit from the FTP server, and now we will try to the same thing is for SSH. If you want to access the SSH server, we can access the SSH server as well. Now the other interesting things are these other options. Now what happens is that when we try to connect to a victim machine, simultaneously by default 16 combinations of passwords are sent, username passwords are sent at a time. Like suppose they fixed a username and they're giving a list with 100 passwords. By default at a time what happens, 16 combinations are sent, and to reduce the total time taken. But in some cases, what happens is that this it might not work. Like suppose for SSH, it might fail if we give the default value of 16, the maximum value is 64. So in those cases, we have to reduce the number of connections that are made simultaneously. So we can do that by using this parameter -small t, and then we can specify how many connections we want simultaneously. So I'll show this with a show this demo video now. So as of now, what I will do, I will remove the -t space 4. I will just keep -t, and at a time 16 combinations are sent. But did we get the password? We didn't get the password. Even if the password was present, I show the password here. Yeah, the password is present over here. Still, it was not able to crack because it tried so fast that it was not able to get that. So it recommends that you try with 4 tries per task. So now what we will do in the same command which we gave, I will just add -t space 4, or let's say space 2. If I give space 2, at a time it will try with only 2 combinations. This is how it will proceed. So this will take more time, but it will definitely guarantee better results, because the moment it will get the time to check properly, you can tell. So this will take some time. Just wait for a minute. A total 53 combinations. It is going 2 at a time. That is how it is proceeding. Stuck somewhere. Now it found the same command, but we just reduced the number of iterations that it was trying with every task. So by this we can get good results, like guaranteed results. So this is the importance of this -small t. We covered this one, and then we covered -small f, which basically stops the execution the moment a combination is found. Berberos we saw. If I do not give the -b, what will happen is that we will not get, like now we are seeing the combinations that are happening. But if I remove the -b, I just keep this much, I will not be able to see which username password combination is being tried at this moment. So if we give -b, we can see that these are the combinations which are being tried. So this was the importance of this -b. Then suppose we want to see. Now what happened is that suppose I go to the previous command. -t space 4. Now here if I give this command, I can see the correct username password on the screen. But what if the list had 10,000 combinations? That will take a lot of time to execute. So I may want to leave the system as it is. So in that case, I can also specify the output folder where I want my results to be stored, so that whatever results are being captured, it will automatically be stored somewhere. I don't need to worry for that. So that is using -o, and then I can specify the suppose I give result.txt. So to store the output in this particular file, we'll keep trying to store. I don't think it found the password. Okay, I forgot to give -t. Sorry. What happened is that I gave 4, but I mentioned to forgot t. So now I will try 4 iterate. Now I should. Now let us see. Yeah, now result of txt came. And we got the username password. Now the good thing about this is that I'll show you that. Suppose I run this command again. And let's see, and this file is already there. It file already exists over there. So in that case, it should like keep the previous record also. Let's see. See, now we have two things. So even if there is a file, result.txt file, it won't simply go and override that. It will just append at the end. So that is a good thing about this. So this is another thing. We saw this one as well. Hyphen small capital L and small capital P also we saw. Then okay, hyphen R. Now I show this one. This works. Now suppose this is a, I'll just move this T2 so that it takes more time. And suppose we will suppose that this password list.txt has thousands of records. Now suppose I want to stop it in between. So I would press Control C. I just stopped it in between. Now I have two options. If I want to restore, we have executed password in like combination 8 of 53. So if we want, we can just continue from where we had stopped. It is written in a .hydra.restore file. These things are written in like a temporary file. If you want, you can directly resume from there. So it starts from again 8, 9, 10, it will continue. Or in case, I'll just stop it again. In case we do not want to resume, we want to start over again. So we will just like give another command for Hydra in normal fresh command. This is the command suppose. But when we give this command, it will tell that there is a restore file present and you have 10 seconds to like decide whether you want to resume that file or you want to start over again. So here it started all over again because I did not press anything in the first 10 seconds. In case I had aborted this and restored with Hydra -R, it would have continued from the restore file. Now, if you want to ignore this and we want to start fresh each and every time, what we can do is that I'll just stop this in between. It is again telling me that the intermediate file is written in the hydra.restore file. I can use the hydra-r command to resume, but I don't want to resume. I want to start fresh all over again without wasting any time. So what I will do, I will give -I. So in this case, it will, even if the restore file is there, it won't ask me. It will simply start the fresh session. So this is that thing. So -R and -I will also do this. So this one is also covered. Next, this is wait time. Like suppose we want to wait, like between what we say, like I want to wait, like between each thread, I want to put a manual stop, like 2 seconds, 4 seconds, 6 seconds, 8 seconds. In case there may be some systems which have firewall policy that they do not allow these many connections like simultaneously. So we can put some wait statements also. And if you want to specify the port as well, so like I gave FTP, so it will go to the default port number 22. But suppose I want to specify the port number, then I can also specify that using the -S command. So this is a basic like CLI interface of Hydra. In case somebody is not very comfortable with this or somebody wants to go a step further, we also have the GUI version of Hydra. So we can also go here in password attacks, online attacks, Hydra-GTK. Okay. So this is the GUI version of Hydra. Everything is same. We can just specify the target if you want, 192.168.29.admin address of that machine, 29.8. And then if I want in the password tag, I can either specify the list. I can choose the list from the downloaded ones, or I can specify a particular username if I want to. Or I can also do, I'll do one, I specify the username, because I know the username is this, and password I will tell select from this list of available passwords. So this is how it looks like, and here we can see the command as well. If I just expand this, Hydra -small l, the username is fixed, -capital P, the list of password is given, -t space 16. This is the default. As I told, 16 is the default value. Even if you remove this, it will go with 16. and this is the address, IP address 192.160.29.8. And I think something else is also there somewhere. This is a default task. If you can see over here, the moment I reduce, it is reducing over here as well. And we can also provide the output, like it will store the details over here. So this is the GUI version if anyone wants. Sorry, this is the protocol. Sorry. FTP. I want to do the FTP, so I can give the FTP protocol over here, or I can any protocol I want. If I want to access HTTP, HTTPS, SSH, anything, so it will automatically take it. So this is the GUI version of Hydra. If somebody is not very comfortable or somebody wants to re-verify their comments, we can try with this. So it will to show items, and I click on start. I can see the output here in this window. So I will just click on start now. So now it is trying. I had given the command for 8 tries, so it is trying 8 combinations at a time. So it tried all the C. Now here we can see that even if the password was found over here, 18 of 53, still it went ahead because like it was 8 tries per minute. So all those tries will become like that 8, 16, 24 will go in those multiples. So this was in the third combination, so it went to 24 and then we got this. So this is the basic about Hydra, how we can access some other system. By using this tool, we can also crack the username and password of any online website. Suppose I want to access a website and I don't know the username and password for that website. So I can also use the same tool to crack the username and password. So I'll just show you over here. This is the Hydra-H command. You can see all the different possible options listed over here. This is the FTP example which we saw now. We were able to access the file, and now okay, this is this FTP was able to be done, and this is the different possible combinations which we saw. We know the username but not the password. We know the password but not the username, and we do not know the username as well as password. Now I want one thing to notice over here, that the username list had 53 combinations. If I just show you over here, this is the username list. This has 53 combinations. Okay, the password had 44 combinations. So when I fix the username and give the password like the list, it will try for 44 times. If I fix the password and give the username like list as an input, it will try for 53 times. But if I provide both of them as arguments, like I give the username as well as password, we try the combination. So it will be 44 into 53. 2332. So if you do not know both of them over here, we can see that we are giving both the username list as well as the password list. The number of tries are 2332. So these are a lot of we take a lot of time over here. So in these cases, it is recommended to have the output written in the file. And I've also given some details over here, like which can be helpful for that. And here the reason why we sometimes give this to be a lower number. Like the higher we give, the faster result we get, but that result might not be that complete. Now our next target is to get the username and password of any website. So till now we have seen how to access some other machine. Now I will try to access a website and show it to you. So for that I will use this URL. So I will start this VM. Once we start this VM, we can like access this. I think this is in the bridge detector. Started it. Yeah, bridge detector. We can access it anywhere. Starting. While it goes, I can show you this is the URL, and it has the login and the password. So what we will do, we need, like we know that if we inspect element, we can get the ID or the name of this particular web element where we give the login or the username, where we give the password. So we would try to inspect that element and we will get the name or the ID of these fields, the login field or the password field, and also the submit button or the click button. So once we get those things, the command will look something like this, like Hydra space. This is the IP address of this URL, like the base one. Like we know that suppose we navigate to a URL, there's a separate login page and there's a separate home page. So this is like IP address slash bwa/login.php. So this is the IP address part, and then when we go to any website and we give the username and password and we click on submit and it goes to the next page, now there can be two methods, like either the username, like sometimes we see in some old websites, like earlier what used to happen, the credentials were passed here on the URL itself. So that was using the HTTP GET method. But nowadays, we cannot see the session ID or the username password over here on the URL because they are using the HTTP POST method. So almost all websites use the POST method. So we wrote HTTP-POST form. This is the syntax, and then which is the specific login page. So this is the specific login page. And how does this thing work? When I give the username password and I click on submit, and it in the backend, this is the format. Like what happens is that colon login, and then the username which I entered, the password which I have entered, and then the action which I want to perform. So I will click on submit. So this is the syntax, and then we go to the next page. Now our motive is we would keep trying this thing till we get this invalid credentials or whatever is written on this window. Suppose I give an incorrect username password, there will be some error message. So as long as we're getting this username like a message on the screen, we would be like continuously trying with this thing. And the moment we do not get this invalid credentials or user not activated or anything which was specified, that means we have got the correct username password. So this is the approach which we would use to get the username password. So I will show that over here. Yeah, this is open. I'll just log in group and go last. Yeah, so this is open and this is saying that the like this VM has many websites, like many applications within it. So we can access everything using 192.168.29.208. So I will go to Kali and I will open the browser. 192.29.208. So there are so many applications within this. So I just took a simple one, BWA. So here I need to give the login password. I need to click on login and I need to see that what error message I get. Until I keep getting this error message, I want to keep trying. So I will just inspect element. So the name is login. So over here, I will just see. This is login. Okay, this one. And this what we call the symbol, type symbol, or whatever this symbol is. Here, whatever username password we have specified in the list, it will take that as argument and it will put that. So in this login field, the username would go. And similarly, in this password, we will see what is the password field. Here it is password. In case this would have been PASS, suppose instead of PASS WRD, had this been PASS, then this command would have been something like SS, something like this. So this is how we would be inspecting the elements and like giving the name or the ID. Ample this pass means whatever argument we are passing in the hyphen or hyphen p, we put that over there. And next, what we need to do, we need to click on this login. So what is this? So here we can see the name is FORM form and the type is submit. So the command is something like form equal to submit. That is like click on this button. The ID is not login, the ID is FORM and the action is submit. So in this, but any web element with this ID or name, we need to perform this submit action and we need to keep doing till we get this invalid credentials. Because if I see over here, suppose I give any random thing, test and any random password, I click on login, it is giving this message. So no need to take the entire message, I can take even a substring of it, invalid credentials. So wherever so the overall command will be something like this: Hydra space this or this part, then hyphen L, and we are giving the list of usernames, hyphen capital P, we are giving the list of password. At a time, we can go for 64 iterations in this, at it is working, but in general cases, this number should be within 2 to 4. And then stop the moment we get a particular combination successful. We show the work details, we can get the combinations as and when it goes. and the output will be stored over there. So if I just run this command, copy, let's minimize this, control shift. So see now this 2332, because there are 53 and 44. So if 53 into 44 combinations it will try. And it will take some time. So that is why I'm given 64 so that it becomes a bit fast. So I think in try 737 it will be and bug. Let's see. 37 is it shown? Yes, it will take some time, but we will get the. So it will take some. So I'm aborting this one now, but this is the overall method of doing it. Let's stop it immediately, and if we do, we will get something like this. So we can try with the found credentials, and we could log in. So if we get the output like this. If you log in, you can see. Also, we can try with this. This is a DBWA website. Same example. Like I just click that. This one down the mobile web application. Over here, the elements are slightly different. The name is username, followed by password, followed by login. It will be a action will be submitted. So the command will be something like this: Hydra hyphen Hydra space the IP address, then HTTP post form, and username, password, login with capital L, action will be submit, and here the error message is login failed. So until till it is getting login failed, it will keep trying. So again, similarly, we can see that after many tries, we can get admin as the username password. So similarly, this is another website, but this one is a bit tricky. This is in the Hacker 101 CTF, capture the flag. If we go there and do this, so similar concept, everything is same, but here the number of tries were a lot more. As we can see, this is taking something around 86,900, because what happens here is that the username and password keep changing. For every time I log in, I get a different combination of possible username and password. So that is why I had to download the actual dictionary file from the internet, and for the username as well as the password, and then we kept trying. So there were around 86,900 possible combinations, and I was able to get the correct combination after a lot of tests. So this is the basic use of Hydra, and I hope that it was useful and informative. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you.